You know that recipe you read about that you really want to try right away? That's what we're making today on Cravings Food Adventures. Murgh Methi, simply translated as chicken cooked in fenugreek. Fenugreek is extremely interesting. Its seeds are considered a spice, the leaves are considered a vegetable, and when you dry the leaves, it's considered a herb. Now in this recipe, we're going to use fenugreek in all of its states to make for a really interesting flavor combination. I was inspired to make this recipe by Sanjeev Kapoor. He is a very famous chef in India. And when I saw him make this Murgh Methi, my mouth was watering. Now I've taken his recipe and I've given it a little bit of a cravings twist, and I'm sure you're going to just love it. This recipe uses really simple ingredients. I'm going to start with the whole chicken. Now you can buy your chicken pre-cut, or like me, you can take a whole chicken and break it down. It's actually a lot simpler than it looks. Now last year, I secretly taped my mom breaking down a chicken. She's really good at doing this. And I am going to leave a link to that video in the description. Once I've cut up my chicken, I'm going to clean up all of the excess fat. I'm going to pull off the skin, and all the bits of the chicken that I'm not going to use are going into a pot to make stock later. I'm going to put my chicken in a bowl, and in another bowl, I'm going to whisk together a cup of yogurt together with another cup of sour cream. Now sour cream is going to give your gravy a lovely velvety creaminess. If you can't find sour cream, or you prefer not to use sour cream, you can use 2 cups of yogurt instead. I'm going to add some salt, some pepper, and I'm going to add some dried fenugreek. I've got 2 teaspoons of dried fenugreek, and the best way to use it is to crush it between your palms or your fingertips, and this releases all of the aroma. I'm going to pour this delicious marinade all over my chicken, and I'm going to mix it around. Now a lot of times I've seen people use a really small bowl to do this, and you struggle with marinating your chicken. Really just use a large bowl and your chicken will have enough room to move around in the marinade. I'm going to leave this aside for about half an hour, and then I'm going to get ready with all of my other ingredients. I'm going to start with the onion. I've got 1 red onion. I'm going to chop that really fine, together with some ginger that I'm going to chop up, as well as some garlic. Now I've got about 3 to 4 very generous tablespoons of chopped garlic and ginger. And don't worry too much about the garlic, because when you cook it, it's going to mix really well and kind of blend into the gravy. So you don't have to be too fussed about getting that garlic perfect. I'm also going to chop about 2 to 3 green chilies. This is going to give a lovely heat to the gravy. Using a mortar and pestle, I'm going to pound my fenugreek so I break it down. And look at this gorgeous fenugreek. This is fresh fenugreek, also known as methi in India. Now look at the leaves really closely. They look so much like 4-leaf clovers. I'm going to pick all the leaves off. I've got about 1.5 cups of this fenugreek or methi. I'm simply going to wash it, drain it, and I'm going to chop it up. Now we're ready to go to the stovetop and start the magic. I'm going to pour in a little bit of mustard oil. Mustard oil goes really well with this fenugreek chicken. And I'm also going to add a little bit of regular oil. Once that's heated up, we're going to saute the onions for a couple of minutes, followed by my ginger and garlic, and then my green chilies. Next, I'm going to add the chopped fenugreek, and I'm going to cook it for a few minutes. Once my fenugreek is cooked, I'm going to add a teaspoon of red chili powder, 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder, and 1 teaspoon of crushed fenugreek seeds. I'm going to add my chicken mixture to the saute pan and mix it together with the spices, and immediately you're going to see the most beautiful sight. This gravy turns into a luscious golden yellow. I'm going to cover it just for a bit because I want the chicken to release all of its water. And in about 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to continue to cook it. Now this gravy is going to be cooked for at least 40 minutes. I'm going to be watching it really carefully. I'm going to be stirring at intervals. In between, once the gravy has dried up, I'm going to cover it again to ensure that the chicken is really nice and tender. And then in the last 10 minutes, I'm going to open it up again and I'm going to let it dry up almost till I can see it turn a really dark golden yellow. Then I'm going to add about a half to 1 cup of water and I'm going to bring it to the boil. And just like that, it is ready to eat. Make sure in between you check for salt and add additional salt if you need. This is a delicious recipe for anybody that loves a curry but wants something that's not quite as spicy. So thank you so much for joining me on Cravings Food Adventures. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please do remember, leave me a comment down below. I really would love to know what you think. And until I see you again, take care. Bye.